Go! I know I did that on purpose. Oh man, we are giddy.
Welcome to
Threads
Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Hey, we are on a mission, nay, a campaign to rid the world of Facebook, fake, Instagram ickies, and Twitter takes. And we do that by having a space for unfiltered dialogue. Jason, about what?
Mental health,
Mental
uncomfortable conversations, and of faith.
And faith. Maybe tonight we'll actually get there. So I am joined in studio with my bearded co-host, Jason Gerald.
We are recording. Oops, sorry. I thought you never add my last name. It's always Jason Gerald. We're recording episode 193. Is Jason the Atheist? I did not put that title in there. That was from
the titles aren't even supposed to be mentioned anymore.
Oh, they're not
format, but
I'm
you know,
sorry.
It's all good. Hey, we are loopy. We actually just recorded a promo for another show, and we're not here.
We're jacked, and this is on no caffeine or liquor, just straight water in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Straight Jesus and the Lord, straight water in the Lord Jesus Christ. Man, we are doing good. So, Jason, how has training been going for you this past week?
We're jumping right into training.
Let's jump right in. Rip off the bandage. Let's go.
So, edit here. So, when we do these, do we want to alternate stories back and forth, or just rip it through?
Probably.
Because I feel like I end up talking for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Make it more conversational.
All right.
So do you want me to go? Or
no, I got it. So my training's been good. We had a long run of 10 miles this last weekend.
10.
And it went okay. I had one incident, and I wish the person that was at the light that saw me, well, I had two incidents, a bladder incident and a running incident. So I'm crossing Byron's, no one knows. But anyways, the M6 has to cross Byron Center Avenue, which is like 6 lanes of traffic. So I'm running, and it had rained a little bit the night before. So I step onto the sidewalk after I crossed the street, and there was some mud, and I turned and slipped. And I just reached out, and you should have seen it. I grabbed the metal sign that was on the you can walk thing. It probably says press here.
Yeah.
And I whipped myself around and kept on running. I never hit the ground.
Wow.
And there was someone at the light. They're probably like, damn. So that was good. I'm glad I didn't fall. Those Topo shoes have no grip on the bottom.
Really?
They're pretty smooth.
I thought they were trail shoes.
No, they're not.
Oh, you bought road shoes.
I bought road shoes. So I hit that mud. I didn't even see it. I hit it and went whoop, and I just like instinctively grabbed the sign, and it flicked me around. I wish I had a video of it.
That would have been awesome. So if anyone was driving out there and actually was videotaping for random reasons.
Yeah, or if you had a dash cam and you saw that, I would love to see it.
Please send it to us at hello@threadspodcast.com. hello@threadspodcast.com. Ooh, we're good for it.
And then one other thing with the training earlier in the week, I vowed never to eat any kind of food before I run, right?
Yeah.
I've had trouble with it if I don't wait an hour. Thursday, I'm running late. I need a 5 mile in there. I had to work late. I didn't get home till 5:30, and I was starving. So I ate a slice of pizza, and I went for a run. And it was a terrible mistake, and I almost shit my pants.
Like, okay, tell me how almost. Like you mentioned it, but I wanted to save some of this actually like deeper conversation for this.
Deeper poop conversation?
Deeper poop conversation.
To the point where I went to fart, and it went, and I'm like, nope.
Oh,
nope, can't do it.
It was like starting to like come out.
Yeah.
You had to like pull it back.
I had to pull it back. And I made it home, and I made it home barely, and I ran in, and it was glorious.
And then you were out for a couple days.
For a day, for 24 hours,
Okay.
I was really struggling. I don't know. I swear I told Mike I got a bug, and he thought it was a bug from the Little Caesars pizza.
Oh, it was Little Caesars.
Yeah, which isn't, I don't mind.
Yeah,
Little
that shouldn't be the issue. But man, yeah. So now why don't you take some like chocolate chips or something like that for your food? Because your body will break down sugar a little easier than the grease.
You're
and the
right.
fat and the.
I think honestly what it was, it smelled really good.
Well,
it was
that's
hot,
fair.
and I just ate it. I mean, I picked it up, and it was fresh.
And because you picked up fresh for the family.
Yep. And I got home, and I'm like rapidly changing my clothes to run. And I was like, I'm so damn hard. It'll be fine. I'll burn this off. It'd be no big deal. And I was good for the first 3 miles. It was the last 2.
Yeah. So I've had that too. I think one time I ate something right before, and it was at mile 4.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna just completely
So,
let
like me at the
loose.
beginning, you were fine.
Yeah.
And then it's like it worked its way down. You're like,
Yeah. So something about that past 3, almost 4 miles, right? It must work through the system enough. And it's like,
yeah,
let me out now.
it was rough.
And
But
I was trying to plan places. Like, do I stop there and like knock on their door and just be like, hey, I have to poop so bad?
that would be so weird.
Well, there's a funeral home, and somebody I used to work with, her dad owned it, and they were kind of closed. Like like there wasn't like normal people there. There was just like the workers.
yeah, they weren't doing a
about
funeral.
knocking on the door and be like, hey, like you don't know me, but like I know your daughter, and I need to poop really bad. I just don't know. I'm gonna hold it in.
I honestly, I think I probably would have just walked in because the doors are probably open and just gone right to the bathroom.
Just
Or if
it.
they were walking, if they said, "Hey, can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I really have to use the bathroom. I'm gonna poop my pants."
Yeah.
So, anyways, how was your 10-mile? Hopefully, it was more uneventful.
Well, when I'm talking about your 10-mile, didn't you have some bladder issues on your 10-mile, like having to pee again?
Oh yeah. Okay, so going back to that, if you saw the promo, did it come out today? No. Did I promo it today?
No, but you talked about it on last episode, and then you talked to me about it. So now I want to know more.
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, I made promos today, and I was like, did I push those out? Kate and Megan are on right now.
What up, Kate?
So yeah, I'm having trouble with my bladder. I've never. Okay, well, we know I have bladder trouble. We know I pee a lot. We've had this discussion of like I don't have any control over it because I'm always I just pee right when I have any. Because I have a bottle at work.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that a million times. So I don't know what's going on, but the last 2 long runs, like in the middle of it, I have to pee to the point of where now maybe it's not bad for you. Like if you felt the pressure, you might be like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I can finish it. And I tried, but same spot. Now I rolled the dice this time. It was like 8:30. No. What time did I leave? Like 7. No, it was probably around 8:30.
So it was later. It was more bright.
The light was up. I peed in the same spot. I looked left, no cars. I look right, no people, and I just let it rip. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm not going to lie.
Well, so coming up to our race, if it happens in our race, what if you are on pace to beat 2 hours, and you knew that stopping to pee would make you not hit it?
You can't say that because you don't know what I could do after I stop peeing.
Okay.
Now there will be like the trail race I ran. There was one porta potty. Of course, I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
I bet there'll be more at the marathon.
Yeah.
I bet there'll be a lot. So,
but like and you're not like me. Like if I had to do hours on pace, I would end up just peeing my pants. But
see, you can't do that.
I can though.
I want to see you do that.
I have no problem peeing. Now you also have to remember I am under 40 yet.
No, Megan and I had a full discussion in the car today going to get Starbies. And I was like, Mike says he can pee while he's run. It's different muscles. So think about when you pee, you relax your pelvis, everything, and it just kind of flows out. Pooping's a little bit different. Think about this, the same thing about taking a dump. You're bearing down just like you're kind of running. So you can I would be much easier to poop my pants than pee. Think about it.
You're bearing down?
Well, try to go take a poop. Feel your pelvis kind of goes like,
oh, I can actually just let it loose and it comes. But I mean, you really don't. Now I almost want to on my training run just pee my pants while running.
If you do it, I want to see a video. We always said if one of us gets hurt and dies or does something crazy, at least film it so
film
we can
it
go viral
first and then go viral.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, I do feel bad for you because now that's gonna start playing mind games with you.
And I only have coffee and an oatmeal every time before my long run. I do the exact same thing: coffee, oatmeal, and then I go out.
Here's a question for you. You've been carrying water with you though, right?
I have, but I barely drink it.
Is it just enough though to get everything working through?
Could be. Every 2 miles I'm taking it.
I'm starting to wonder.
Ooh, I think you're right.
So maybe just take it with you in case something bad happens, and then just don't drink it.
So you think I should take it with me if I start getting dehydrated? Like you can tell you start getting dry mouth. But then you're too dehydrated at that point. It's late. Then you have to play catch up.
Yeah, but like I feel like for you that's not a problem.
That's true.
If it was me, it'd be a problem. But
that's a good point.
And it's gonna be cooler out there.
That's a good point. I think I'll bring it with me and don't drink it unless I absolutely need it. We'll see what happens Saturday for our 12
miles.
Other things that are going on. Let's see.
So how about my training?
Oh, I'm sorry. we have an edit and we're gonna go back and forth and yeah, sorry. I had to bring up a text anyways for part of mine. So
So my 10-mile went good. I felt under control the whole time. But I have to tell you a story about Thursday. I was fat shamed while running.
I'm sorry, I'm not listening.
I know you aren't.
I apologize.
I got fat shamed while running. Are you ready for it?
Now, were you doing a long run?
Well, it's Thursday, so it was 5 miles.
5 miles.
It was 5 miles long. And I was running. I started at my house, ran out from there, and I crossed paths with some lady anywhere from 20 to 40. Have no idea. And it was one of those where like we had a void, like we were crossing like this, and it's like okay. And so then later on, I was finishing up my run near my house, and this lady passes back through, and she's like, "You're doing such an awesome job. You've been running for an hour." I'm like, "You're just saying that because I'm fat. If I looked like you, she would not have been like, awesome job. You've been running for an hour." I wanted to give her both middle fingers and been like, I actually can run for 3 hours straight. But you know what? Yes, it's an hour. Want to flip her the bird so bad. She didn't mean to fat shame me.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
she only
did.
complimented me because I was fat.
Maybe she was trying to encourage you.
But that's
It's not, because it's an accomplishment if someone's overweight and running. I see people overweight all the time running. I'm like, you're a badass. Like in my head, I'm like, look at that badass.
But the only thing those of us who are overweight and running want is just the normal runner wave.
That's true.
We don't, because again, she has no idea. Because again, if you and I, if you were running it, she wouldn't have said, "Hey, you've been running for an hour." She'd been like, "It's like, oh, good job, you ran for an hour." It's like, I can run for 3 hours straight, but
you didn't say anything.
I was like, thanks, whatever. I was nearing the end of 5 miles, but I was so ticked off. I was like, you're only doing that because I look like I do. You have no idea. Woman.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that could be frustrating for somebody that's overweight, and yeah.
And she's making assumptions like an hour is a big deal. It's not. Come on. I mean,
now you're gonna get trouble from Denef. You're dead.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like,
you're so dead. Oh my god.
She's listed. For me, an hour is nothing. Okay.
You're feeling you're a little red there.
Awkward transition. Hey, I didn't smell Frank on the way in. How's Frank doing? How is the skunk smell going?
Okay. He went to the groomers today.
Ooh, that poor groomer.
You know what? And she didn't get it all out. And I'm
really?
Like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe he was still a little damp. I don't know. But he was all blown dried and beautiful hair. But I don't know. I didn't feel like they did as good a job as they should have.
So did you go in telling her that he had been sprayed?
Yes.
And then they still didn't get it out?
Yes. Now, again, it could be because it wasn't completely dry. I know a wet dog always smells terrible.
True.
Like they can roll in shit and you give them a great bath and they still smell gross.
True. Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't sniff him before we came down, but I don't know. It is what it is. I don't even care anymore. Did it smell like skunk when you came in the house?
No, but it's not one, like I never smelled it until I was close.
That's true.
I was just wondering, because again, that has to be annoying after a while. Like, how much longer, dog, are you going to smell like that?
Yeah.
Something like snuggling's different. All of a sudden you're like, oh, skunk.
They do. Yeah. The snuggling he snuggled up last night when I was laying in bed. I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, like get away.
And skunk just kind of hangs for a little
bit.
Well,
they said it's 21 days, but I feel like it's been at least, this is like the third week, right? Maybe not 21 days.
Maybe not quite 21 days
okay,
yet.
So we got some time.
Oh man, that's not fun. Stupid skunks.
So I have to look this up and we can edit this out because it was in the group chat. That's why I'm not seeing it. Okay. So it was Thursday last week. It has to do with Avery. Another Avery story. This is like a parenting thing. And I'm actually proud of this.
Okay.
So, and I don't say I'm proud of stuff very often, but so Avery all of a sudden sends a text and says, someone needs to schedule me a doctor appointment. I need a physical for dance, so I don't think I can dance today since I don't have one. Done. So we didn't know this. Apparently she goes to dance, but she's also on the dance team for school, and school requires physicals.
Yep.
She dropped the ball. It wasn't, I mean, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not my fault. So she wrote, someone needs to schedule me. Like that's the first part of the text. I said, I can do that, comma, but in the future, please use the phrase, can someone please? Not someone needs. We don't work for you. Thanks.
Ooh, good job.
Like, didn't get mad.
Yep.
Like, I was so proud of that text. I was like, firm but loving.
Yes.
Like, this is not acceptable. This is the phrase I would like you to say, and we don't work for you because we
Yeah.
don't.
Exactly. No, I'm proud of you for that. Like that'd be a moment of like, you want me to tell you what?
I don't know if I would have responded the same in person,
True.
but I'm going to take this win.
Yes, take the win. Go for it. Count it as a win. Because, oh, man. Yeah, just that, like, hey, you guys should have done this. Like, hey, you're in high school.
Yeah. You're like, and she's Miss Organization, and she does a really good job.
Yeah.
We, not that she's all responsible for that. We all drop the ball, and typically we're like, we rely on Avery to help us, and she dropped it too, but it was just the demand. I was like,
yeah, that definitely comes off. But no, I think you handled that well. You handled technology well, like we talked about last week. Look at you go. Anything else happened this weekend for you guys?
Not really. Real quick, just things that happened today. I applied for a job at Granville Public Schools, and there was a spot for college, and there was no GRCC. They only had 4-year colleges on there, and I was pissed.
Oh.
Like I applied to be a freaking lunch aide, and I can't put my GRCC down as college.
And why in the world do they care? Oh, probably because it's just generic.
It's generic. Yeah, exactly. And then real quick, there was a marathon record breaker over the weekend.
Yes.
He was running like 4:37 miles. By the way, he ran a couple of years ago under 2-hour marathon, but it wasn't valid because it wasn't a specific course. So that dude has run under 2 hours for a marathon.
Now, the one that was under 2 was not a true, like,
they didn't do the right things.
And also because he was, he had people blocking the win for him.
Oh, I didn't know any of that.
There were pacers that went in front of him the whole time.
Okay.
And they'd switch them in and out.
Gotcha.
And there was also like a laser line.
Oh, interesting.
I just saw a video, but still
Thank
amazing.
you for clarifying that. I was kind of felt bad for him, but
still amazing that he even ran under
201. He set the record in 18, broke it now, and he is the ripe old age of 37. There's hope for you, Michael.
I thought he was 33.
37. I saw it on Instagram.
Okay, if he's 37, but this was really his last chance then.
Mom spaghetti.
But no, that's amazing run. I can't imagine running 26 miles at 4:37. He's literally more than sprinting for most people for 26.1 miles.
I couldn't do that pace. Like I couldn't even in a full sprint. I don't think I could do that when I was 20.
I know, that's insane.
And I was a sprinter.
And the thing is that they don't look like they're trying that hard.
No.
He's the smoothest. What his name? I cannot pronounce his name. I'm not going to, but that was an amazing feat.
So what about the rest of your weekend?
Well, my weekend, long run good, and then went to Cam's cross country meet. Right, it's a terrible thing to do after a long run, especially since we had to drive to Walker to Covenant Christian.
Well, did you enjoy the grass there?
Oh, it's amazing grass. It was the best grass in the world.
We treat that grass there.
I can tell that only the best.
Thank you.
Treat that grass. But it was good there. He ended up running his best time ever by 1 second.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so he beat that. His team won medals like crazy. His team is small, but they're beating all these bigger schools.
That's so cool.
This cross country only takes 5 good runners.
Yeah, the top 5 for time, right?
Yeah, score.
And you could have a bad race and you're out, and next week you could be number 1.
Yep, and there's enough that are good on this team that, even if somebody does bad, they have like 8 runners that will always score. But anyways, it was just really cool weekend with that. And then Sunday was the most chill day ever. We watched a ton of Smallville.
Have you noticed I do not bother you on the weekends anymore?
I know.
I wait for you to, because I think that's your like solemn time, and I wait for you to text. Now, if you text me, I'm gonna text you back.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like on Sundays, I was like, nah.
Especially Sunday mornings, they are the biggest treat we have ever had, because for a long time I've had work on Sunday mornings, and now I'll wake up at like 9:30. We'll have breakfast together at like 10:30, 11.
What's it going to be like when you have to go back to work on Sunday?
I don't know. And then we watch Smallville.
Well, here's a question.
Smallvilles.
Here's a question. Can you, once you're not doing a long run on Saturday, can you transition all that to Saturday when cross country is done?
Maybe. It just feels different when it's on Sunday.
I get you.
Has a different feel.
It's like you're playing hooky.
Yeah, it's like you're playing hooky. And also, like Saturday will still be, there's still chores to do around the house.
Yeah.
Sunday's about like, let's just literally chill and do nothing. So that was our weekend. Nothing too amazing, but it felt awesome. And then for Cam, PR. I love seeing him hit PRs.
Was he excited?
He was so excited. And again, right, it's one of those where like you can watch him different points of the race, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe this."
Yeah.
So
How is his Achilles? Wasn't that like creeping up on him, or
yeah, and so what it was is his hamstrings were tight, which then were
Shocker.
causing his calves to be
Calves.
tight, and then we're pulling on that Achilles.
Yeah.
So I end up using like a gun, like the Theragun, but we have an off-brand Theragun.
You're like, you kind of paused on gun.
I know. I was like, wait a second.
Where are we going with this? You
So, like-
pistol whipped his calves?
I was like, come on, let's go. No, but I did it to his hamstrings, and on the lowest setting, he was like almost crying. I was like, dude, you need to foam roll these hammies out. Otherwise, you're gonna have big issues going forward. But again, it's right, one of those things, even in warm-ups, I see a lot of the kids, they're like kind of doing the leg kicks, kind of. Like, no, you need to warm those up.
Man, can you imagine what we would have if I would have taken what I know now back into my high school days? I would have been such a better runner.
Well, and even your coaches.
Yeah, they didn't know that shit
Yeah.
either. They're trained like the dynamic stretching static stretching where you're not warmed up. You're just like stretching your hamstrings, and like that doesn't work apparently
For some people. Cam's coach said for some people that actually works, others it doesn't. But even like how they train, like looking at that, like how our plan is, his coach follows something on a similar basis for them, where not every day is the exact same. It's not go run as far as we can. It's
right.
Some days are 400, some days are hills, some days are easy runs, which is, from what I remember, is unheard of.
Huh.
Back,
yeah, no, we didn't do that.
It was like run as hard as you can, as many miles as you can. So like taking all of that back, I mean, think of how fast you could have been.
Is he gonna run track?
Yeah, he's gonna run track. He likes sprints a lot more than long distance.
Well, he should do like 400s or 800s.
I know, but
he's not built for sprints. He's tall and lanky. He's built for distance.
But he's one of the fastest kids in his school.
Is a sprinter?
Yeah.
Well, then he has to do sprints.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would be competitive.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest. Like even their fastest long distance, who's fast all the way around. He'll talk about how he beats them in track and in cross country practice for sprints. But yeah, I think he'd be good at a 400. Just because that's what they practice a lot, and he can suffer. But he says he doesn't like to suffer for that long. He says in a 1 to 200, you suffer for what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
So in other words, he's not gonna revenge his mom's loss at the turkey that was at the Holland 5K because he doesn't want to go any farther than 2 miles.
Yeah, except for if he's running them, and then he'll just take you on anyways.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was fun there. Mental health check-in. Mental health. How is your mental health doing, Jason?
I've been feeling good lately. Just complete side note, I had sex twice in a row last week. In a row.
Twice in a row?
Not on the same day.
Hey, different days.
I'm
asking. Okay, different days.
And that's helped a lot.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie. Starting therapy again this week. It had been a month off, and then I had one a month off. I had one a month off because she had to skip, and so yeah, I'm actually not looking forward to it. I don't want to get back into it. I told Megan today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had our check-in early today because we were home together.
Oh, look at you go.
I know. I'm like all done. Like, this is my last thing.
So like post the show, you have nothing to do but
nothing.
Chill. Look at you
chill. So yeah, my mental health's okay. I'm feeling good. We had a good conversation on our check-ins, and I'm not looking forward to EMDR on Wednesday. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't think we'll process again because we're getting back into it. So I'm guessing 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Ugh,
I know.
Which you're like, at some point, can we just get to it?
Well, it's kind of fun. Not fun. It's kind of nice, like not having to do it because it's kind of painful.
Yeah.
But
so
anyways.
So that did bring up a good question. I almost forgot to ask you, and you almost got away with it. So last week, I was joking as we were leaving because you were about to do your check-in. I said that you had a lot to say, and Megan said, Jason never tells me anything, or he doesn't have a lot to say.
In the check-ins?
Yeah. Jason Gerald.
I think I don't have a lot to say when I'm actually struggling.
Oh, okay.
I think I kind of do the fight or flight. I do the flight and just kind of, yeah.
So it's been tough a little bit.
It's been tough.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, it was a good check-in today. Megan, I feel like we had like a breakthrough check-in.
Ooh.
Like some of the things she said, I was like, this shit's making sense.
Okay.
And like I said something to her. She's like, oh my gosh, I've never thought of it that way.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was super excited.
Okay. The other thing, you don't have to answer this, but you said you would at some point, and so I decided, I just remembered it all right now. You said you figured out why you're wanting sex more. Do you want to get into that, or are you going to save that for another episode?
That's down the road.
Okay.
That's stuff that's being processed through EMDR, like talked about. So
Okay.
it's probably a long way down the road.
Okay, because a few weeks ago you said, "Hey, we'll get back to that later." I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, think about sex and think about abusive childhood, and you can kind of put 2 and 2 together a little bit.
Well, we will let you process that more, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit. For me, mental health, it's been a heavy couple of weeks. I've been walking through a person with a mentor of mine through a book that's helping. The biggest thing I love from this book is that if we're following the way of Jesus, we're okay with being down. We have to be okay with being down. If we're really understanding how the life of Jesus involves dying to self, we can be okay with being down.
But that's hard to accept sometimes.
That's hard to accept. But again, it's better than thinking that we shouldn't be down and sad and
like beating yourself up.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, I can't believe I'm down and depressed and all of this stuff. And just the book was like, no, it's okay. As we follow Jesus, as we do that, as we die along with Christ, there's going to be really tough spots, and that's okay if we don't stay there forever, right? Like,
that's the problem.
And that's the truth of everything. But I was like, no, that's really important, because I think in America, not just Christianity, in America, we're getting better, but we're not okay with being not okay. And we think,
yeah.
And again, when big things happen, we shouldn't be okay.
No.
Like, but again, we have kind of this expectation that somehow we'll get better really quick and that it's all okay. Instead of like, no, this really stinks and this really hurts and I'm in a low place right now.
So are you kind of relating it to what you went through? Because I kind of felt you didn't accept. No, this is me probably projecting.
Yep.
And this is what I did with Ben too. And it probably pressured him. And that's why he left me. That you are, because I always said, like, you know, you're taking this so well, you never got the chance to get low and accept that it's okay to be shitty about what happened.
Yeah,
you know, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think though, like, everything takes time.
Agreed.
Right? Like, and there'll always be more, and just we're now 2 months out, and there's just more. The weight of more has hit. But again, I'm seeing like positive things. Natalie and I had a really good conversation. Was it last night? Let's say last night. It was last night. Again, too, where it's kind of a breakthrough on a lot of how each of us were feeling. Again, a lot of it always goes back to childhood. Why does it go back to childhood?
Because childhood is so important. People don't realize how important parenting is. Don't even get me started.
So we both kind of have things from how our childhood, how we relate, how our early marriage was, how when I was an asshole, all of the time. You didn't let me finish. When I was an asshole all the time, or most of the time. Again, we're just trying to figure out how to deal with what's really the worst part is we're expecting each other to react in a certain way.
Yeah.
When that's not them anymore.
Yeah. You're doing the dance.
Yeah.
There's a book that we started reading, I started listening to, but they talked about doing the dance where you're doing the same thing. And one of you has got to be like, hey, we're doing the dance again. This isn't how we're supposed to do it.
Yeah. And we're both thinking that the other person is the same instead of, hey, they've grown and changed. Right. And that's hard because, right, just naturally you think that. So anyways, it's been good, but it's been it's a little bit of a down season for me right now, down few weeks. But again, I think that's okay because there should be down weeks, and as long as I keep processing it, I'm gonna go, okay, like we're making work. As long as I keep checking in with the mentor about it, checking in with Natalie, I feel like I'm making progress.
How can I and maybe even listeners lift you up during this time of just, where you're just kind of feeling down?
See, that's a weird question.
It is?
It's a good question.
No, but I'm trying to be kind.
No, I know. You're being out of kind.
If you want me to send you a cupcake a week in the mail that's delicious as hell, I'll do it. Like whatever you need.
I feel like you'd go to prison for that.
I didn't say put drugs in it.
Yeah, but I feel like they would think it's a drug when they come back to your house.
I mean,
but anyways, no, I just, right, you're a supportive friend in that. And again, like, I have support people like in my life who've walked through really heavy stuff. Like, so with a mentor, he's walked through really heavy stuff. And even this book, like he goes, it's really helped him. And so as we the whole point of the book is so that we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. And then talk about actual life. And so he's been really helpful with that. So I think just keep being a friend.
Okay.
And if you're a listener, just sign up for Patreon. How's that transition for you?
Speaking of Patreon, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters, Joe P, Kate K, Lisa K, and Megan D. And then, of course, we have our amazing sponsor, Irvines Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. They are located on Stafford, just east of 131 off 44th Street.
And do they give loaner cars?
You know what, Mike? They do when they're available, but I've gone there every time and never not had a loaner car.
That's awesome, because the reason I asked is because our van is down, and we have
it?
Yeah. Oh.
I haven't heard the stories. Mike doesn't tell me anything.
Well,
guys.
I didn't know if I'd talk about it here, but so I was gonna save it. It's over $1,000 fix.
What is it? I mean, that's cheap.
Water pump.
Oh, because they got to pull the whole GD.
They got to pull the whole motor
out
because
have them change the belt while they're in there.
Oh yeah, they're changing all
that.
And my father-in-law was able to get parts and lower that because he's a parts rep.
Okay.
But anyways, but the loaner car though has been handy. I in fact drove a loaner car here, so that's why I asked.
Well, it's funny I have a story about the loaner car. I don't know if I had posted or someone had posted looking for a good repair. And I always, when I see that in the forum groups, I always throw Irvines in there. Someone's like, yeah, you can't get a loaner car though if you don't have the right insurance. So apparently, I think if you have just basic PLPD, they won't give you the loaner car, which makes sense
because then they're on the hook for it.
Exactly. But the guy was like all fussy about it. I'm like, bro, calm down. I'm sure everyone does that.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want to reach out to them to get your car repaired, fall maintenance, I just got an email from them, 532-6600. Even for an oil change, they'll look over stuff to try to, drum up business and to correct things.
No, they care about you and want to make sure your car doesn't go off the road.
The nice thing about it, you don't have to be awkward and say no on the phone. You can just click no.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, you click on the link and decline, approve. But I've honestly approved a lot more than I normally would on a verbal, just because I should probably do that. You know what I mean? But you don't feel pressure from a salesperson. So
exactly.
It's super nice. So anyways, 532-6600, or you can schedule service online, irvines.com. She said, Megan says that we have awesome coffee. New machine makes us never need Starbies. No, that's a lie.
Maybe was there just a gunshot outside of your house? Or
no, that was the door closing on there.
Oh.
I got totally confused. So Kate says, I forgot Adam Schwab. He is not a Patreon supporter.
Ooh.
So that's
Adam needs to step up.
I know. Did I miss something on Patreon that he is part of the Patreon? I don't think so.
You're like, oh crap.
I'm running to it right now because I want to label him if he is. Nope. No, there's your sign, Adam.
I don't know who Adam is, but Adam, this is your sign. You must do that. I want to talk about another listener. He's not a Patreon supporter yet. But, Chrissy D.
Okay. That's not his real name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I saw
he corrected it in the thread.
So did you know who it is now?
No, I have no idea who it is. He's a Zaniac.
Okay. So he follows us on Strava and interacts in there. He just ran a 20-mile long run.
Yeah.
Which is not even his full marathon.
How is he going to come up with 6 more miles out of pure gut?
Because that's how all the marathon plans are. They only get you up to 20.
I know. I hate that.
But you also have to figure he probably ran a lot of extra miles that week.
Yeah.
And his legs are feeling it. And so they have you run 20 untired. So they figure by the time you do it, you can run 26 on 26.1. Don't forget.
Yeah.
26.
Dude, that 0.2 would be murder. You're like, I have 0.2 left. Can I be done now?
Well, think how bad it's in a half marathon with that 0.1. Like everyone says 13 miles. I'm like, no. 13.1.
Yeah, because usually the 0.1's around a corner.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh.
It's the worst part. So anyways, he's a super runner. I just want to give him a shout out because it's been fun having him give kudos.
Yeah, I was hopeful that it was a rando, but it's not a rando. But it's from great advertising on the Eric Zane show, because that's how he found out of us and been listening. And that's insane.
And it is a complete rando person to me.
It is. Well, rando to me too. I mean, it's not like I have a lot of Kate and Megan. I met them all on Zane show. And even Adam, I never met Adam on the Zane show. I didn't know. He wasn't a random. I've heard his name, but it's cool to see somebody that I don't even know.
I know, isn't that cool?
I think we got to go back to advertising the Zane show again. At
some point, we need to advertise there because that's where all the best listeners have come from.
And real quick, Kate, I welcomed on the Facebook page. That's not just for Patreon people. If I had 25 Patreon people in there, I'd be super excited.
Well, yeah. So anyways, that is our Facebook page. Sign up for that one too. There's a group. Actually, that's the group, not the page.
Yeah, it's the community. It's community, yeah. You can like the page too.
You can like both of them, but the problem with pages is you don't see anything anymore.
Yeah, you don't, and you can't talk in them. So that's why I like the community groups, and we need to be better at chiming in there. Mike,
we need to do that. So speaking of social media, TikTok.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about Jesus TikTok or Atheist TikTok or whatever TikTok. So you sent me a video from Samuel L. Harris. Is there anything like you want to set up? Like, is there a reason why you sent it to me other than you thought it'd be fun to talk about, or anything that spoke to you?
Yeah, it really was like it made me think. Like that's a random. Like I didn't search it out. Yeah. It just popped up, and I was like, I will say I've been seeing a lot of videos online about, is God real? Like, I don't know. I'm into this atheist TikTok.
So basically, atheist TikTok has found you, and now you're in the middle.
There's a reason why, but I cannot reveal that on the show. I will tell you after the show.
No, come on.
No.
If I had to reveal my screen time,
this involves something else that I have not permission to say. It's not just personal for me.
Okay.
But it'll make sense after the show.
Okay.
So anyways, I think that's why I'm in this algorithm, and not that it's a bad thing, but
you are in it.
I am in it.
So you want to play the video for us?
Yes, it might be a little. I'm going to start it up, but it might be a little clunky. We'll see what happens.
If you wake up tomorrow morning thinking that saying a few Latin words over your pancakes is going to turn them into the body of Elvis Presley, you have lost your mind. But if you think more or less the same thing about a cracker and the body of Jesus, you're just a Catholic. This, to me, is the true horror of religion. It allows perfectly decent and sane people to believe by the billions what only lunatics could believe on their own. And yet you put a few miracle stories in an ancient book, and half the people on the earth think it a legitimate project to organize their lives around. Does anyone else see a problem with that? And I'm not the first person to notice that it's a very strange sort of loving God who would make salvation depend on believing in him on bad evidence.
So the one thing that caught me that was interesting about that is him saying like billions of people believe it, but he's calling it bullshit. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Like, it's a weird stance to take. This is all fake, but everyone believes it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. That kind of bothered me. What are your take from it?
Well, before what bothered you, is there anything in there that you're like, hey, like that kind of makes sense?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I disagree with him, other than like the Catholics actually truly believe when they eat the cracker and the wine that's actually Jesus Christ's body and blood, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No offense to Catholics. I don't think you're stupid. I think that thought is stupid.
Yeah. So I think Sam Harris, I think there's smarter people than Sam Harris. I think Sam Harris thinks he's smarter than what he is.
He's been on Rogan's show a lot.
Well, then that proves my point.
He's not bro science though. He's just kind of.
I know. I've heard him talk to actually like smart people, and they tear down his arguments. But like, so Elvis versus Jesus. I mean, of course, no one's gonna believe a random person, but like, there's one who like again claimed to be God, died, and from the accounts he rose from the dead. So again, they would believe that would be different than the body of Elvis. So he's building the straw man. Like, that just bugs me about him.
He's just trying to. He's making fun of it.
Yeah, he's making fun of it.
That's what he's doing.
And like, just I don't know. Sam Harris is one of those where like he just comes off as like there is no chance that anyone else is right. They're crazy. They're lunatics. He just bugs me that way.
Okay. I've never
Yeah.
really heard him speak, I mean, at all. Other than on Rogan on a time or two. And if he's been on recently, I don't listen to Rogan anymore. So
here's the thing.
say it, Michael.
I just don't think I think Rogan now just pulls out. I think Rogan has brought on just more like
nuts.
Yeah, nut cases, and less like actual, like he just brings on people so that he can bring his like not propaganda, but his like conspiracy theory. He's gotten really conspiracy theory on.
Well, shows evolve. We actually talked about our show today.
It's evolving and changing.
It is. I've noticed it. We've, do a lot of like life stuff ahead. And I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then we kind of talk about stuff, but so I don't know. Bad evidence is weird. I mean, is there any other book that is like the book of Bible anywhere?
Well, I mean, depends how you want to look on it. So oftentimes people say, like, how can we believe that Jesus actually existed? But like the amount of copies we have of the Bible from early on is 1,000-fold, not quite 1,000-fold, but a lot more than any other writings about any other person, like Caesar Augustus, any other person from the Roman Empire. But we believe those Romans existed.
Yeah, no one denies that.
No one denies that. But when it gets to Jesus, where there's more scripts, like more copies of the early Bible that talk about this Jesus, we have thousands of copies that have very small things that are different with them. Most of the time, it's like letters switched or words left out, right? Is there hand copy? And of course, things are going to slightly change. But over thousands, it is a consistent thing. To say that is not good evidence makes me wonder. Because again, he thinks probably that these historical people existed.
Yeah. I wonder what he thinks about like, and I'm questioning too, the Old Testament before Jesus. Like, I feel like the New Testament is much more accurate and like feels more legit.
Yeah. But even the Old Testament, we can find, I went to the site too in Israel where they actually found these old copies of the Old Testament. And again, compared to the ones that we had found, which were, hundreds, if not 1,000 years later, almost match word for word.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Where
incredible.
was that? Oh, it was I'll come up with it later. I'm so mad I can't think of it.
Is it Mount Who Gives a Shit?
Yes. No, it was this whole big discovery back in the 40s because these kids were throwing rocks at a cave and it popped in. Anyways, I can't remember right now. But anyways, so yeah, I can see more of the Old Testament, but even the Old Testament, we have old versions of it like that have just been preserved in caves.
Yeah, Kate commented, I think, on Harris, while I don't believe if faith comforts people, then good for them. Why bash and tear them down? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was kind of bashing.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have a conversation. Now, the next video we're going to watch, there's a conversation.
There's a
going
conversation.
on.
And kind of why I like the Stuart Knuckleton. I don't even know how to say his name, but
I don't either.
But I appreciate, like, again, he'll debate people, and sometimes it gets a little heated. But he tries to be very like, he doesn't put the other person down.
No, he did point the finger once, and I was like, not the finger, but like pointed.
Yeah.
Now I'm not smart.
Yeah.
So I had to play this like 3 times to kind of get which one was saying anything. So maybe we'll have to play it again. I hope not, because I've watched, this will be the 4th time. So here we go on this one.
What doesn't make any sense is that you trust your mind to tell you the truth about reality.
You trust your mind to tell you there's an invisible man in the sky. Now tell me I'm the one who's not doing the proper evidence seeking.
I trust my mind to tell me the truth about reality because I am convinced that my mind is not an accidental collection of atoms.
You trust the
You,
Bible.
on the other hand,
the Bible
believe
tell
that
you about evidence.
No. Absolutely false. I don't believe in God because the Bible says so. I don't.
Okay.
Instead, what you do, sir, is you believe that the rational comes from the non-rational. You believe that our rational minds are accidental collections of atoms.
I see what you mean.
And yet you trust your mind to tell you the truth that your mind is an accidental collection of atoms. I like Charles Darwin. In a letter to a man named Mr. Graham, Charles Darwin wrote, "In light of the fact that my brain is simply a highly developed monkey's brain, why do I trust my brain to tell me the truth? Would you trust the thoughts of a monkey?"
I think I listened to it again and caught something else.
Okay.
So basically he's saying, how could God not create somebody that has the rational thought?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're just a bunch of atoms that went, wee, and they're like, oh, son, you can think rationally and make decisions.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah. So Stuart, again, from what I understand of what he's saying, he's way smarter than me, but he's saying, like, if we believe that evolution is true, then it's just a random thing. And how can we trust our thoughts? Because our brains were just put together by random atoms that happen to evolve into better and better. So basically, like a monkey. So, like, I liken this to my dog. Like, would I trust my dog's thoughts?
No.
No. So if my mind is one step more, and I know a monkey's supposedly a step beyond my dog, but not true. I'm the best dog in the world. But let's say it's one step beyond my dog. Am I going to believe that? So am I going to believe that my mind can actually think through the world? If my mind came from a monkey,
no.
Do I trust it? Well, no. And that's just his point, which even the guy who was debating him goes, oh, I never thought of it.
I know. I heard. You could tell. Yeah. You could hear the switch. He's like, crap. He was all like,
yeah.
It was a younger kid. It was kind of weird. It was like an open air, like, discussion.
So this guy goes to colleges, and he'll just gather and he'll start talking, and people will come, and he'll just talk with. And I've put down Christian. I've called out Christians on this show, but what I liked by Stuart versus Sam Harris is that Stuart, yes, there maybe was a finger point, but like he talked back and forth. He didn't say, hey, you're an idiot for believing this.
When you're putting somebody down, that's not a discussion.
No.
It's same with politics. Like,
exactly.
We can talk politics when you call me a dummy or an idiot or it's done.
Yeah. So I know that the same Harris, like I get like the points, but like I'm just like, he just built a straw man and he just insults people. And I'm like, come on, like how are we to have unfiltered conversation about this if you're just insulting people?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It turns into a fight.
Come on, Sam Harris, let's go.
Yeah, so the title of this is, am I an atheist?
I know.
So,
I just no,
but I want to kind of go back to that because I'm still not going to church.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. But it bothers me your and I's friendship.
Really?
It does.
Really?
I think about it.
Really? Why? Well, explain this.
It's just because, like, I don't know. I mean, how can you have a friend and like a close friend and then a podcast partner and then he doesn't go to church and you're a freaking pastor? Like, that's weird, dude.
Do you think I judge you for not going to church?
I do not.
Do you think I think less of you for not going to church?
I think you think about it.
Every time I think about it, which isn't often, I feel sad for you because I think you're being kept from what could be great. Again, depends on the spot. Because of trauma that happened.
I don't know though. I mean, maybe. I don't feel that, and I'm the first one to admit. Like when I say it, that's what I feel, and I just don't feel that's what's holding me back. I feel like what's holding me back is the actual belief.
See, I would say especially as I got to know you more, is like the Jesus keeps drawing you in. You're still curious about Jesus stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that, but then you again, this is from the outside view. You've experienced a lot of trauma in many different ways.
Correct.
That are connected to church.
True. That is true.
And so, of course, and then COVID provided an opportunity for you to stop. And so you got out of the habit because I think at one point it was just a habit.
Yep.
And so now it's like, I experienced a lot of hurt over there. Why would I go back? But Jesus thing still calls you.
It does.
So that's where I'm just like, because again, I think that the institutional church can be very damaging, but I think Christian community can be very life-giving. We've just experienced that in multiple ways, even since July 26th.
Oh, dude, I don't know all the stories, but what I've heard, it's been awesome for you.
Yeah, and so just people showing up, and so that's where like my heart at most is just hurt for you because I'm like, because of all this trauma, you don't get to experience the good of it, even though you're still drawn to this Jesus thing. Like, because you're the one who usually will want to talk about me. Like, I'm always leery on this and be like, hey, let's talk about Jesus because it's like I'm the pastor who talks about Jesus. But like, you seem to keep being drawn to it, which I think is good. That means, like, to me, that comes up to like, I understand there's a lot of trauma, even stuff that I don't understand.
Yeah, I am drawn to it because I saw this and it spoke to me. And even though we weren't expecting to do this, I don't even know what your plan was, but I shared it randomly. I'm like, this is good. And you're like,
it was perfect timing because I'm like, crap, what are we talking about this week? because it's gonna be more mental health next week. I think because we have kind of like how we want to go. I was like, what are we going to talk about? That's uncomfortable faith, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Boom.
I mean, I think I need to keep talking about it. I mean, I think when we talk about it in this faction, if that's the right word.
Sure. Yep. Let's go with
it. You got to tell me if it's right or not, or don't you know? It's not right?
I don't know.
Oh,
let's just go with it boldly.
Okay.
Let's say it boldly.
Be confident.
Yeah.
But Megan always not teases me. She's like, you're not using that word right. I'm like, damn it. Tell me that sooner.
Okay. So my favorite thing, we're way off topic, but so especially reading the Old Testament, students read it and they'd be reading through and like, I don't know how to say this city or this person's name. I'm like, here's the thing. Just say it boldly and no one will know whether you're right or wrong.
If you walk in with kick in the door with confidence, people like, oh, we need to listen to what this person is saying.
Yeah. So just do that with words. Just go with it. Faction.
I feel self-conscious about it. I mean, I only have a GRCC degree. I can't apply for a job at Granville.
You cannot be a lunch lady.
I cannot be a substitute lunch lady, by the way. Not even a full-time, a sub. Anyways, but no, I want to keep talking about this, and I just want to clarify, if anyone from Alive listens to this, it's not your church, it's the trauma I had before. I would say Evergreen that I went to wasn't a great experience. The pastor was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, just not a terrible person, just terrible for me. I don't think he's a great pastor.
Yeah,
I mean, so
and then I mean the trauma is tied with your mom and how everyone
every Sunday,
and everyone thought she was a great Christian. Ugh. And I mean, because and that's where I finally started to get you in church stuff, because I'm like, oh, like that's so tied together and it's messy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to experience it. But as we're wrapping up, I want to make sure that we still have these conversations. So don't feel like you can't put it on a show plan, because I'm fine with it. And we didn't get super deep on this. These guys kind of stuck out to me, and of course, now that we're talking about it, we're both going to see it on TikTok. Yeah, crazy.
I mean, as soon as you send it to me and it plays, it's going to be more of these atheists.
Right.
And it is. I mean, those things pop up anyways. I don't mind. Like, I like knowing what people think differently than me.
Yeah,
so I don't mind.
You're dying to know what I'm talking about, aren't you?
I am. I'm like, let's wrap this stupid show up. I don't even care about ending. Everybody, see ya next time. Let's go.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to Threads Podcast. If you could share this episode, it's super easy. It's free. Just share it to your friends. You don't even have to say anything, but you could say these guys are super awesome, or these guys suck nuts. I mean, wait, no,
don't say
don't say that.
That's not true.
Suck at no. They just say they suck. Don't use any body parts, because that's gonna end poorly. But yeah, if you could share, that'd be great. And of course, we have the Patreon. Adam, this is your call out for you. There's a bunch of different tiers: $3, $7, and $20. We have nobody on the 20, which is totally okay. We have 7. You get the live stream, like Megan and Kate are on right now, and they can chat with us and stuff. And then you get pre-show banter. And yeah.
What if they would sign up for the 20? Do you think you would tell them the reason why?
The reason why what?
That you're on Atheist TikTok? Do you think they'd get that for signing up for the 20? I'm just wondering.
I don't know. I don't think so.
50? Should we put the 50? Just for that?
No. I mean, no. Okay. I would have to. I would need some permissions.
I know.
Yeah. So, but anyways, if you could check that out, patreon.com/Threads Podcast. And then, of course, we have the newsletter. I don't know. Are we still doing newsletters, Mike?
Yeah, someday.
Oh my gosh. Listen, he's mailing it in already. And he's not even working right now. Can you imagine when he gets his full-time gig? He ain't gonna do shit. He might not even show up. I may have to patch Kate or Megan in via a link.
Yeah, you're gonna
to do the whole damn show.
I think maybe you're gonna have to call me on my phone, and it's just gonna be on my speaker phone.
Oh, that'll be perfect on it. That won't drive me nuts when I'm editing at all.
Pooping with my fan on, the loudest fan in the world.
Yeah, we know you'll be on there, and you won't be talking to me. You'll be on TikTok. Oh, and as always, guys, keep the faith, do your work, and live life unfiltered.
Peace.